Hello, puppies and kittens. If you're in Houston this weekend on Sunday and you've decided you're not going to go to church that morning, you might come check me out. I'll be at Houston Oasis. I'll put a link down below. But the reason I wanted to record this video is a little frustrated that just how people are, you know. I get a call on my personal cell number, from some guy I never heard of. Don't know how he got my number, but some guy calls me out of the blue, no prior communication, and says, "Hey, I want to debate you." And I don't know what he's thinking, because a lot of people will say that they think I should debate them on a stage somewhere, or they volunteer modern day debate to pay for the whole thing. And I told the guy, well, I don't accept when people just nominate themselves, just trying to grandstand, pull themselves up by my bootlaces. Now, what I will do, what usually happens is that if it's going to be a formal debate, then some organizer will contact me and say, hey, we'll offer you this much to debate this topic with this person. And it usually doesn't matter who the person is. I really don't care, except for I do have a short list of idiots and grifters that are never going to get any attention. But most of the time, if they're not on that short list, then it doesn't matter who the person is. It only matters what the topic is. Is the topic something that, well, for one thing, is it a winnable topic? I mean, if the question is so vague and ambiguous that there's nowhere to go with it, well, leave that to philosophizers. I'd rather do something where there's a conclusive right or wrong. But this guy wants to debate me, and I did get an invitation to. There's sometimes when they're just idiots or grifters, and I won't debate those people. I did get a call or an email recently saying, hey, would you like to do a 2-on-2 debate with this idiot and this grifter? Like, no. I'm not giving such showman a stage. I prefer to have some degree of sincerity. And that's a big problem, because with believers, it's really hard to find one that's sincere, that isn't just full of shit, P.T. Barnum type. Well, anyway, this guy calls me, and he wants to do a debate, and I said, well, I'm not going to do a debate, and there's no way you would be able to pay for it and work out a venue and get ticket prices. Who's going to go see you? But what I do is, I frequently have on my channel, I'll have a one-on-one. If you want to have a discussion, I'm down for that. Especially if you have a disagreement with me, whether it's political, religious, whatever, let's have the discussion. Fine. And I find it funny that I do so many shows on like Skep Talk, where we're pleading with believers to call in. Hey, I'm on the line, waiting for your call. You disagree with me about this thing? You want to put me in my place about this thing? Call in. So few ever do, and the few who do call in end up unable to comport themselves in any kind of a reasonable way, which is, I guess, how they got into their position in the first place. A lot of people, when they want to have these challenges, when they whether it's an email or however they contact me, when they say that I want to debate you, they reveal themselves to be basically mentally in the position of toddlers. I'm like, okay, let's schedule a time. Just pick a day, an hour that's convenient for you, and I'll see if I can make that. Put it on my calendar. And I very often get responses like, hey, I'm here now, bro. Well, you know what? For you here now, for me, I'm in line at the DMV, or I'm in a restaurant just checking my email while I'm waiting for my food. It's not right now, dude, is not the opportune moment. But I'm dealing. Believers are children. In some respects, it's at least the ones that I deal with over and over again. So this guy, for example, who called in, he wants to have, he's amenable to having a discussion. Okay, fine. So what's the topic? Note that I asked that second, okay? And then he says, well, I'm going to prove to you that God is real. I'm like, okay, well, this is rich. And I know that I have a reputation of getting on with these people, and then they turn out to be, I don't know, pathological psychopaths or something, or they're just so full of shit that I completely lose patience immediately. And I'm working on that. So I'm conscious of this when I accept this guy's invitation, that I'm gonna try again to just sit there and be calm and let him spew his shit, and then hopefully when it's my turn, I'll have a short list written down that I can do. Okay, well, here's the problem with everything you just said. I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen. Hasn't yet, I admit. So we set something up, and then he's insisting that he's not going to do it on his computer. He's going to do it on a phone. He wants to make sure that the link that we do for the video hangout, that it works on the phone, because he can do it on the phone as well. I'm like, why would I have this? You're going to prove that God exists, and you want to do it in a private phone call? Who gets the value out of that? I mean, if you're going to prove that God exists, that needs to be, I think, that's a public display kind of a thing. So, bring it. And so I want to set it up for a video hangout and see what he's got. And he's not going to do it on computer. And I'm like, okay, fine. If you don't want to use your camera, you don't have to use your camera, because I find a lot of these people that who call me coward, strangely, use assumed names, and they refuse to turn their camera on. But yeah, they're completely anonymous and safe, but they're calling me a coward because I'm jumping into the fight blind. I have no idea what they're even going to bring, but that somehow makes me coward. Seems I couldn't have chosen a noisier spot in the park. So we get something set up, and I send him out the link, and it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? And so he tries to call me. My phone was out of reach at the moment that he called, so I call him back, or try to. But I can't, because to call him, you go through an IVR system that will connect me to an extension. I'm like, what kind of a number are you calling from? You're using an assumed name, no idea what you look like, no idea your background information. You've got my home number, but you're using an IVR so that I can't call you back. And the IVR, of course, is why the link doesn't work for you. So then the guy calls back, and I said, this is easy. Just get a hold of a computer, or use a direct line, and we'll set it up that way. And now the guy's lost his mind, because now he doesn't have, I'm guessing, he doesn't have the security of the anonymity of this system that's going to completely protect him from anybody knowing who he is. He's going to prove God exists, but he doesn't want anyone to know who it was that proved God exists. Amazing. And so this is so easy. Just set this up. We'll just reschedule. And, when you've got a computer, or when you can call me from a direct line, we'll be happy to have this hangout, or have this hangout. And he lost it, and immediately revealed himself to be like a rabid child. Started making all kinds of yelling over me, making wild accusations. And the thing that I like was he cast me as a liar, because he read somewhere online that somebody said I'm 6'7", and so he's challenging me. Are you anywhere near 6'7"? I'm like, so you read online that somebody said that I was 6'7"? I said, I read online that I'm a millionaire. It doesn't matter what somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about says, but this guy's challenging me, and he thinks I'm the liar because someone else pretended to know something they didn't know about me. How does that make me a liar? And how does that get us to our position? So it turned out the guy didn't have any wherewithal to prove that God was real. All he wanted to do was yell at me. Apparently he was angry at my latest video where I was talking about Rabbi Manis Friedman, because I called him Fried Mind. And so that was the impetus that set this guy off. That's why he thinks he needs to yell at me, yell over me, and act like a 2-year-old in a tantrum. And I'm thinking that's what the video would have been if we'd gotten that far. Here I am, naively, somehow, after all these years, I'm expecting that some guy is going to try to give a rational, cogent, reasonable argument when you'd think, after arguing with believers every single day for 25 years, that maybe I would figure out that they ain't got shit, right? That I know that it's not going to happen. But he just yelling at me until, okay, the phone call is over, and it's just fuck off, dude. And so I'm a little miffed because I was actually looking forward to that video. I was actually looking forward to that hangout and listening to this guy's reasoned argument as if there was going to be one. Anyway, this is what I get. This is the kind of invitations and challenges and such. It's like when somebody posts something on social media, and okay, you see the thing, you make a reply to that thing, and then they come back an hour later or so, and you're at work now, or you're at a restaurant, or wherever you are, because people have to go about their lives. And what is going on? Okay. Because people have to go about their lives. And so when you get a lunch break or whatever, you have an opportunity while you're riding in the bus or the train or whatever it is, you go to check your messages, a couple hours later or whatever. And now this guy has posted that they'd said something over an hour ago and you haven't replied yet, which means that you're a coward, you're afraid of them. Like, as if you're hovering over your keyboard just waiting for some punk troll to post their next response because they're the most important thing in your life. And there's people that actually seem to think that. People are so incredibly full of themselves. And why is there all this projection where they think that non-belief is a belief system? I mean, I think that's the most important thing to get out of this. I mean, there several times this week I've gotten people say that I wouldn't last 5 minutes against them, and I would run away in cowardice. Why? Right? Let's say that they're right. Let's say that they show that there's any, even if they use a bad argument, let's say that they give some indication that they might actually be correct, even if they argue poorly. It would give me some reason to consider, to stop and think, hey, maybe they got something here. Maybe they didn't present it very well, but they've got something here. I should think about that. It has happened on rare occasions that, on trivial detail, that somebody will show that I've done something wrong or that I got something wrong, and I always expect that can happen. But let's say that they're right. The big picture, they're right. And they're going to show me that I'm wrong. If you show me that I'm wrong, that means that I've been wrong up to this point. But unlike believers, I have a choice not to be wrong anymore. I can now stop being wrong and be right from here on for the rest of my life. So why would I be afraid of that? If the truth matters more than whatever I would rather believe, then I'm going to want to know what the truth is, right? And the problem is, of course, that when you have a belief system, the truth doesn't matter, like, at all. The belief matters more than whatever the truth is. And so they're the ones, the believers are the ones who are writhing in cowardice and all of that. They have a belief system they need to defend, and there's no way they can deviate, which means there's no truth, there's no inconvenient truth that they could possibly admit. And so they project all of their own faults onto the non-believer, as if we have a belief system, as if not having faith is a faith, as if rejection of religion is a religion, that kind of thing. They have to create this illusion of false equivalence, as if everything is two sides of the same coin, even fact versus fantasy, which is what this really comes down to. Anyway, if you're in Houston this weekend, this Sunday, I think it's at 10:30 in the morning. I think that's when church is. Don't know. It's been so long since I've been in a church, but I'm done. Thank you much. Maybe you see you this weekend.